So you want to own a mini golf course. Most people think owning one means buying a plot of grass, dropping in a windmill and a loop-de-loop, and collecting cash from families on summer nights while doing basically nothing else. That part is roughly true, except before any of that, you need to understand something the family entertainment industry almost never tells aspiring owners. According to IAPA's benchmark data, the average family entertainment center runs on a profit margin of just 10 to 20%, and industry surveys peg individual mini-golf operations at roughly $100,000 in annual revenue, which means the easy money course most people imagine is, for a huge share of operators, closer to a break-even hobby with a mortgage attached. Let's talk about what it actually costs to get in. Startup costs. Land acquisition or a long-term lease runs you anywhere from $50,000 to $250,000 a year, depending on whether you're in a tourist corridor like Myrtle Beach or a suburban strip mall parking lot, and that gap alone determines whether your course survives its first winter. Course design and construction, the greens, the obstacles, the drainage systems engineered to move 3 inches of rain an hour without flooding your windmill, typically runs $150,000 to $400,000 for an 18-hole layout, more if you're going for elaborate theming with waterfalls and animatronics. Synthetic turf alone can run $8 to $15 per square foot installed, and a standard course eats up somewhere between 10,000 and 20,000 square feet of it. Add lighting, modern LED rigs that cut energy costs by roughly 60% compared to old halogen setups, but still cost tens of thousands to install, plus fencing, signage, a small retail and snack structure, POS and ticketing software, insurance, and your initial permitting and licensing fees, and you're looking at an all-in startup range of $400,000 to $700,000 for a standalone operation, with some fully themed multi-attraction builds in tourist markets running into the millions. That number is not a rounding error. That number is the entire reason most new owners immediately need outside financing before they've sold a single round. The hidden structural advantage. So the question becomes obvious. Why would anyone sink $500,000 into 18 holes of AstroTurf and a fiberglass dinosaur? Here is the part that catches almost every first-time owner off guard. The golf itself is not the business. According to IAPA's 2025 revenue mix data, admissions account for only about 40% of a typical entertainment venue's revenue, while attractions and add-ons make up 19%, food and beverage brings in 16%, and birthday parties alone account for 14%, meaning more than half of a well-run mini-golf operation's income has nothing to do with anyone actually putting a ball into a windmill. This is throughput math wearing a costume. Once the course is built, your marginal cost per additional round is close to zero. You're not buying more turf or building more holes, you're just running more groups through the same 18 obstacles, which means every dollar past your break-even head count falls almost straight to the bottom line. On top of that sits membership float. One operator using Roller's membership platform reported reaching 12,000 active members, generating $2 million in revenue within 12 months of launch, and repeat customers using membership programs spend an average of 33% more per visit than one-time guests, according to the same industry data. And then there's the party economics. One operator reported 90 to 100 birthday party bookings in a single 2-day window after simply switching to a faster online checkout flow. None of that is golf. All of it is why the golf exists. Now, the part nobody puts in the brochure. You've probably heard the figure that 81% of new small businesses fail within their first year. That number gets thrown around constantly, but it's considered a significant overstatement by most analysts, since it traces back to a misread of Bureau of Labor Statistics survival data rather than an actual first-year collapse. The more defensible figure, drawn from broader small business survival studies, puts first-year closures closer to 20%, climbing toward 50% by year 5 for capital-intensive leisure businesses specifically. For mini-golf, 3 mechanics do most of the damage. First, seasonality. Roughly 60% of all mini-golf courses in the U.S. operate seasonally, closing for winter and northern climates, which means an owner in Ohio has to generate a full year's worth of debt service and payroll obligations from maybe 7 productive months. Second, feasibility skipping. FEC consultants charge $5,000 to $15,000 for a proper market feasibility study, and a large share of owners skip it entirely, building a course that duplicates 3 existing competitors within a 15-minute drive radius instead of filling a gap. Third, maintenance drift. Turf, plumbing, and lighting systems degrade fast under constant foot traffic and weather exposure, and owners who defer upkeep to protect short-term cash flow watch attendance quietly erode as the course starts to look tired, which, in a business selling nostalgia and novelty, is close to fatal. So let us run the actual numbers on 2 realistic versions of your mini-golf course. Option 1, the lean seasonal operation. You lease a small parcel for $60,000 a year, build a modest 18-hole course for $180,000 using standard obstacles rather than custom theming, and run it as a walk-up, no membership operation 7 months a year. At an average of 150 rounds a day during peak season and $12 per round, you're generating roughly $340,000 in gross revenue annually. Strip out your lease, a lean seasonal staff of 4 to 6 people, utilities, insurance, and turf maintenance, and you're clearing somewhere around $55,000 to $75,000 in annual profit. Respectable but modest against your initial $180,000 build cost, meaning payback sits in the 2 to 3 year range if nothing goes wrong. Option 2, the scaled year-round entertainment hub. You build a $500,000 themed course with an attached snack bar, arcade corner, and dedicated party room, open 12 months a year in a market dense enough to support it. You launch a membership program from day 1, targeting even a modest fraction of Roller's benchmark, say 4,000 active members at roughly $150 a year, which alone contributes $600,000 in recurring, largely prepaid revenue. Layer in walk-up rounds, food and beverage at IAPA's typical 16% revenue share, and birthday parties at their 14% share, and total annual revenue can reasonably land between $1.1 million and $1.4 million. After staffing, rent, food costs, and maintenance, industry benchmark margins of 10 to 20% put your net profit somewhere between $130,000 and $280,000 a year. The best-performing operators in dense tourist markets running multiple attraction layers in near year-round membership retention push net profit past $400,000 annually, the kind of number that turns a novelty business into a genuine acquisition target.
So the same industry that survives on 10 to 20% margins and gets propped up by memberships nobody redeems, party packages nobody negotiates, and snack bar markups nobody questions, has still quietly become large enough to pull in roughly $450 million a year in the United States alone. Not bad for an industry whose entire public image is a windmill, a scorecard, and a $6 novelty putter. If you found this video interesting, please like and subscribe.